The Intergalactic Hanseatic League is a science fiction time travel adventure, a town-wide public artwork that took place across King's Lynn and online from the 1st to the 31st of October 2021.
We come in peace.
The IHL crew have come back from the 23rd century and they're moored by a black hole at the centre of our Milky Way galaxy. They're sending transmissions to the people of King's Lynn via any means necessary. So they've hacked our cinemas, the local paper, screens around the high street, and they've created portals around the historic buildings of our town. The IHL are also from King's Lynn, and in their future they've solved the problem of climate change. Theirs is a bright future, but something happened and that future is glitching to one of climate devastation. All they know is this moment now, October 2021, is known as the mind shift. In 3 years' time, a solar flare completely wipes the internet. So they've come back to work out what we in King's Lynn did right here, right now, to change the future for the better. In order to work out what that mind shift is, they've recruited agents of change. So over 800 local young people have been involved in this project, giving their vision of a brighter future.
So the trick was to come up with a story that would address the problem of climate change, hopefully motivate people to act, but not in a way that was going to make them feel like they were being talked down to or lectured to. One thing that I wasn't expecting to work quite so well in terms of this hacking metaphor was our engagement program, which we developed with Michelle Brace. Michelle developed an activity book to get kids involved in the story. We created a call-out video with one of the main characters, the navigator. He asked them to join the mission. And in the process of doing that, the children became aware of climate change issues and became aware of some of the solutions.
Fantastic work, Lexi.
We're thinking about making futuristic cars that are powered by natural materials.
We've been planning on making a model town for the future. Maybe fruits and trees growing on buildings to like pick and eat.
They are going to change how we see things. You can see that in what they're talking about now and how they're going about things. And they're going home and looking in mum's wardrobe and saying, well, you shouldn't be buying that because it's made of this and that cost the earth this amount of time. And although we've been at this for 3 weeks, as a staff, we're determined to keep it going.
I'm feeling pretty concerned. So if we don't do something now, all animals could go extinct.
It felt like there was a lot of anxiety, particularly amongst young people, thinking about their future in a world where the existential risk of climate change is so present all of the time. So we wanted to start with that point of saying, okay, climate change has been solved. How did we do it? As we started to think about how we could work with this subject in King's Lynn, we started thinking about the medieval past and the Hanseatic League and how we could integrate that into a really exciting story for young people.
When I first got the details about the project, I knew it was like right up my street. We're talking sci-fi, we're talking time travel. So I was creating the overall aesthetic for the project based on the information that was given to me, but then also as well sort of roundtable discussions about where we were going to have that visual identity and how it was going to look, and then started to come up with the brand identity for the IHL, the overall look and aesthetic feel for like the characters and also the technology that surrounded them at the time as well.
Together, we must repair the future.
Trying to make the transmissions during the pandemic had its own challenges, so I ended up having to film all of the actors separately. So I filmed with Kate in Glasgow, Kat in Southampton, and Kamal here in King's Lynn. And in fact, the idea of the crew of the IHL transmitting from the centre of our Milky Way galaxy really was kind of inspired by the fact that everyone was working remotely at the time, and everything was glitching out. Everyone was kind of coming to terms with this new way of working.
Because of the pandemic, we were forced to rethink the way we delivered the project, and there was a core team of about 8 creatives who worked together for about 1.5 years online, and it was really only in the last 2 months of the project that we started to come on site.
We're here today in the Greyfriars Gardens testing out our audio park installation on the pergolas. So the interactions we want to do, we simulated at Cambridge Junction a few weeks ago, and now we have an idea of what that is. We've come on site, and it's really good to be able to get out here and get a sense for what it's actually going to feel like.
So this is going to be the foot pedal to control the game that's going to be projected onto the Greyfriars Tower. does feel quite nice. This is the first physical build prototype that's been made, and we brought it to the location to give it a little test, but also just to see how it looks and feels in the environment, because an important thing we wanted to be able to have with this is be it easily recognizable, something that people will know to interact with, but also have it be big and robust to withstand however many people are going to be playing with the game.
Really nice and simple, just good bits of metal.
It was really important for us to have a strong local presence within our wider creative team. There was about 25 creatives involved across the 2 years in the project. Ultimately, we worked with something like 551 children from primary schools and other settings, and over 250 college students as well. It's kind of an unexpected win, I suppose, that we managed to engage so many people in such tough times.
We've been fortunate in that we've had whole classes of students from the local colleges, specifically game students, which is even better for us, be involved and help playtest our game and give us really good feedback, both on the visuals, the feel, how the game plays, and the level of fun that it has as well. And it's really helped us improve the game.
So the design for the pedals was put together by Katie, and at the point that we came to fabricate them to put them in the park, that's when we engaged Fletcher at Smelly Cat Creations to essentially ruggedise that design and make it into something that was going to be solid enough to withstand all the stamping. So in terms of the projections for the IHL project, the projection sites have been reimagined as portals between the people of King's Lynn and the Intergalactic Hanseatic League. They each have a different theme, and they've been created by Dan Silverstone, the lead visual artist on the project. In a quite unique situation for us due to the previous restrictions in just the way that we've had to work. The entire visual work has been done remotely using a projection toolkit that has 3D models of the buildings, and that allows the artist working in the tool of their choice, in Dan's case it was Adobe After Effects, to preview what they were creating on the 3D virtual models of each of the buildings, which meant that by the time we came to actually testing them on site, the lining up was pretty good, and I felt that we only did 1 or 2 iterations of really tweaking that.
I mean, we're here at Greyfriars at the moment, and seeing this in all of its glory was like quite shocking, because I'd only seen 3D renders of Greyfriars and like images, so I was using that to sort of help map all of the motion graphics onto this building as well, but I'd never seen it in its bricks and mortar.
The TV screens were located in shop windows throughout town, and each TV had a Raspberry Pi attached to it, which was loaded with a media player server called InfoBeamer. So once that Raspberry Pi is connected to the internet, we can then control what content goes on there from like at home or in the office or wherever we are. I always felt like, is the world going to shut down again, or are we going to be able to do this in the way that we want to? We got to September and we were in Greyfriars installing, and it was just like the most amazing feeling to be out there. The Intergalactic Synthesizer is one of the portals located in Greyfriars Memorial Gardens. Within those gardens there are 5 wooden pergolas, and each of those pergolas has been given a sort of interactive audio box, and to accompany that, sculpted neon L-wire on each pergola, which gives a nice vibrant sci-fi feel to it.
3, 2, 1.
It's interactive, so visitors can come, and as they walk underneath the pergolas, their motions through sensors can trigger different variables to sound samples, and we're plugging in some of those variables into pure data. We're playing around with how sounds are distributed across the 5 pergolas. We always wanted it to have that science fiction kind of neon feel, hence using the L-wire to give it a bit of a Tron vibe. So we wanted it to transport people, but then also to be sympathetic to the surroundings, which are a memorial garden.
I'm an app developer, so for the most part I'm used to seeing my games on the size of a phone, very, very small. Seeing it on the side of a building is obviously a bit of a step up. The gist of the project is that we're delivering the messages to these effectively archaeologists. This is the method of delivering those messages to the mothership. And you use the two pedals to move left and right. When you've delivered the message, you get this lovely display of what the various kids in King's Lynn have been coming up with in schools. I love doing like cooperative elements to games, and yeah, you've got the collective effort of all the kids that have done the stuff for the project, and it's fitting that as part of that there's the collective effort of delivering the message to the ship.
A lot of our children really enjoyed writing the messages that were going to be displayed, because a lot of them had messages of things that were on their minds and concerning them and their interests. For a lot of our children, it was that little light bulb moment of what we're thinking about is real, and we've got the opportunity now to have those concerns and those voices heard in a really safe and playful way.
The children completely ran with all of the activities and created all kinds of amazing artworks that we then were able to also incorporate into the public. For me, the most important part of the story was to find a way to make the citizens of King's Lynn feel great about themselves and make them the heroes of the story rather than just the audience.
With our transmissions, our local cinemas agreed to show them before all of their feature films. You'd have these kind of big Hollywood movies, and then you'd have Kate, who plays the captain, talking directly to the people of King's Lynn. It definitely had a kind of an impact.
I think this is a great approach to raise awareness about climate change. In my opinion, young people are the wisest people that walk this planet for many reasons, and I think that it's to our huge detriment that we don't listen better to young people. And engaging in this way is also about us going, please tell us your sage words of advice. And this kind of project's wonderful for being something different. It's going to be out there in the community, reaching the very people that you want it to reach, and that is so, so important.
We had one exhibition which covered the entire shop window in the centre of town. And it was actually wonderful seeing a lot of the children come from the local schools to see their work in that exhibition. It was very satisfying to see the pride that the kids had when they saw their own work up there.
I want to stop damaging the atmosphere. So I've made a new transit system. It's powered by solar.
I think I'm going to help the planet and pick up rubbish, recycle it into stuff.
Because they were allowed to use their imagination and their creativity, and nobody said to them, oh, it has to look like this, or it has to do this. It's allowed them to go further than we thought they could go. And they really have shown us that they've opened up other doors in our heads as teachers to actually we can push these children further, because their imagination is there. We've just got to build in the chance for them to do it.
I think it's very relevant at the minute because of climate change. The children are really taking part in it, and hopefully they're learning some things along the way as well, but they're really excited about it, and I think it's going to be difficult to pull them away.
I think it's great. It's really bringing the town to life. We haven't actually been to King's Lynn before, so it's brought us over here to have a look and find out what's going on.
We're really enjoying it. We thought we'd just come out this evening and we're just having a nice walk around town. Really love the corn exchange with the hands all over it, and we've been to St Nicholas Chapel, so nice stroll, and it's really good for the town.
It's wonderful to see people playing and interacting with the installations in Greyfriars, and to read the messages on social media of how much people are enjoying it. A year ago, during the pandemic, it just didn't seem like that was going to be a possibility. So we're enormously pleased that the people of King's Lynn have really taken to this project, and that it's attracting culture tourists to come to the area as well.